welcome. My name is Rebecca, and I am one of the members of the Plus Platoon. We are a Disney Plus fan podcast that gives honest, spoiler-filled reviews of movies and different TV shows that are on Disney Plus. We look at new releases, the different coming attractions, and we'll even go back into the vault to revisit some of Disney's classic films on the platform. But before I bring in the rest of the Platoon, I'd like to ask you to please subscribe to us on YouTube. Just search Plus Platoon, click on that cute little pink letter P, and like, subscribe, and share our account so we can grow. We are also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and all you have to do is just search up Plus Platoon. Now to bring in the rest of our group, I'm going to introduce Derek.
Hey, Rebecca, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Doing very, very well.
Good. And then I'm also going to bring in my girl, Kate.
Sister. Hey, sister.
Hey, Kate.
Hi, how are you?
You know, I'm excited that it's Wednesday and I get to hang out with my friends.
Yeah, we were already talking about how it's one of the things we look forward to every single week. So I'm very happy that you're here. And last but certainly not least, we're going to bring in our new member, Brian.
Hey, everybody. Nice to be
How
here.
are you?
Hey, Brian.
I'm great. I am pinch hitting for the other half of the DCL duo who we both got our second COVID vaccines, and she's a little rocky today. So I'm feeling better, so I'm here to pinch hit.
I'll tell her that we hope that she feels better soon. We're going to take it to Kate first off for some Disney Plus news.
Oh, hey, everybody. It's Kate with some Disney Plus news. Get excited. I'm so excited that you all are here hanging out with us. I only have one thing to report, and that is on June 11th, Loki makes his grand debut. Loki premieres on June 11th, and they just came out that there's going to be a second season. What? Who knew? So make sure, if you haven't seen the Loki trailer yet, go watch it. That's it.
Definitely.
Awesome. So excited for that one. He is actually my favorite villain, you could say. So I'm really excited to finally get to showcase all of his amazing talents. So now we're going to dive into our show. First, we have just our first initial impressions of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So we watched episode 3. And Kate, I'm really interested to know how you felt watching this new episode.
Yeah. So, okay, let me preface all of this by saying I loved WandaVision. And I think that I thought coming into Falcon and Winter Soldier that it was going to be a little bit different than normal Marvel because WandaVision was so different. I enjoy it. I do. I'm wondering if Derek and I are still kind of on the same page with this. He's got his poker face on, so one can't tell right now. That's fine. That's fine. I liked it. I love Sam. And I loved when they were in the bar scene and like him and Bucky didn't really say anything because they didn't want to say anything wrong. Every single episode, and I think I said this last week, Sam and the Falcon was not a character that I was super drawn to at first. Loved Black Panther, loved Spider-Man, loved Iron Man. Love Black Widow, but Falcon just kind of was in the background for me. So this has just really brought him to life. And I just adore him. So yeah, that's me. So what's up, Brian? On to you, bud.
So I'm gonna echo one thing that you said that I do agree with, which was I thought this show was going to be a little different in its direction. I actually thought we were going to see more of that kind of, like the Sopranos-esque, like I'm in therapy and I'm like a weird patient to have in therapy kind of thing. And I actually thought the therapy session between Sam and Bucky was hilarious. And I was like, oh, I want more of this. And then it quickly was like, see you later, Doc. We're going off to be Avengers, right? And so I do think they could have taken a different direction. I think that would have been fun. That said, I like the series. I liked this particular episode for two reasons. One, I love the additional character development that they're doing in anticipation of the new Marvel movies coming up. So I love to see these new characters getting set up so that we have a little bit more backstory for them. I thought, and the second reason is I thought reintroducing the Baron as an actual villain. I thought Zemo's character in Civil War was just not super well developed. He was kind of an interesting character, but it felt just like he was just dropped in to create a fight scene between Iron Man and Captain America, which was the focus of the movie. to kind of pull back and have him play that more classic Marvel villain, wear the villain costume from the comic books. I thought that was a pretty cool way to introduce this new villain, the Baron. And now I'm left wondering, so is he a bad guy or a good guy? So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I'm with you and without you, because I agree. I think that the introduction of these new characters is amazing. I thought that Sharon Carter, that whole character that was brought into the show, really added something different and a little bit of that, okay, well, here's Sharon, where's Captain America? It kind of introduced that question to me again of like, she was in the movies with him and was really close with him because of her aunt and Peggy and all of that stuff. So I really liked that she was involved. But I think the character of Zemo is so interesting. We kind of trickled on it last week, that he's going to try and shift, Buck back into Winter Soldier. And that first interaction that they have, sure enough, he starts sounding off the different words that, turn Bucky into the Winter Soldier. And it was like, oh, here it is. And that interaction between the two is really funny. And I like the sarcastic dryness of Zemo's character as well, that he just kind of straight to the point. It has like a couple of times where he's like in the background talking to himself while Sam and Bucky are going at it. And they pan to him and I'm always just laughing because he's just like standing there, like watching them fight and not really doing anything. So I thought that it was really interesting. And I actually really do like the show. I like the direction that it's going in. And I think that while they've unanswered a lot of questions, they are bringing up more. Like there's just so many things happening at a time that I think it's really going to push us into the next movie afterwards. So Derek, what are you thinking?
It's not working for me. Nothing's happening. This did not need 3 hours of setup. At least we've switched locations. We've actually moved somewhere. And I liked the little bit of background on Carly, with her and I'm guessing one of her relatives. We don't know for sure. I'm just not making any connection to either the story or the characters. Kroger Cap did not belong in the one scene in this episode. I mean, that scene was, oh, we have to have him in here somewhere. Okay. Now, rumor is episode 4 is going to be more about what he's been doing. So be interested to see if that's going to come up. One thing I did think was kind of a weird parallel is he made a line along the lines of results are more important than methods, which to me was totally not Captain America. That wasn't Steve at all. And the parallel between that and Carly's, that's the only language these people understand after she blew up the building. Just that parallel there was interesting. It's, at this point, guys, I'm tempted to go watch Own the Room again. Yeah.
Can I make 2 predictions about where the show goes to see if it would change?
Yeah, I want to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I have 2 predictions. My first prediction is the Global Repatriation Council. I think that's what they're called. I'm getting it wrong. Okay, I think they're the bad guys. Just full stop. I think they're actually the bad guys.
The government. So the government, yes.
Because we have not seen, like, we thought Zemo was the villain. We thought maybe Kroger Cap was the villain.
Don't get ahead of yourselves on this one. That's our next question.
Yeah,
who's the villain?
All right. But okay, so I'm just going to say I think they're bad. But the second thing I'm going to say is I think somehow Sam is going to get injected with the super soldier serum, and we're going to see Kroger Cap hand the shield off to Sam. That's my prediction.
Hand it off.
The show ends.
And see, I don't think it's going to be a handoff. I think I don't see a handoff at all. I think something's going to happen to Kroger Cap because I'm not buying the whole he's genetically wonderful and so super strong. I think he's been injected.
Well, yeah, I will say in the comic books, Kroger Cap is kind of the uber patriot version of Captain America. And so they kind of said this in the show this week. He had a line about, if we get it right, are they really going to care how we did it? That's kind of his MO in the comic books. It's get it right by any means. And he ends up kind of handing the shield back over to a different character because he's like not living up to the ideal of Captain America. And then he becomes his own superheroes. I think he's going to hand the shield off to somebody. That's my prediction.
I think Marvel knows that we want to see a brutal fight between the two of them. We want to see some end to this Kroger cap. We want to see, nobody else can be Captain America except for Steve Rogers or Sam or Bucky or someone that we actually know and love and appreciate rather than this Kroger cap character. Because I was actually thought that the scene that he was in was actually super important because it really showed his true motives behind what he's doing. He's not doing this for the right reasons like Captain America. He's not doing it for defense, which is what all of the Avengers go by. They're defending the country. They're defending their people. He's actually going out there and like being offensive to people and like getting spit on. That's not something that ever happened to Captain America. And I think that it was really important to kind of show the difference between the two of them and really make him actually what he is, because it was so different from the second episode where they made you like feel for him, like, oh, he's trying to do his best and he's trying to play it right and do the right thing, and then it's completely 180 in this episode.
I saw the 180 when he said, if you're not with me, stay out of my way. Yeah. To me, and the second episode. Mm-hmm. So one of the Facebook users says, could see Derek ready to give up on the show once Zeno tried to turn Bucky, only to see it didn't work and he had to find out more. That wasn't, well, we'll get to that point here in a minute. Okay. Yeah, Ryan wants me to take it back. Nope, not taking it back at all. Sam says, really enjoying Zemo's character too, showing that he's funny and smart and maybe not just purely evil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of leads us in to our second thought.
Can I say one thing before we jump to the next question?
Sure.
The one thing I want to say is I really, really hope that they don't find a way to make Bucky go back to that brainwashed. I hope that isn't. And remember, I've seen all of the movies, but it has been a minute since I've seen some of them. But I love how they have portrayed kind of the same way that they did with Sam in bringing in real life issues of racial injustice and stuff. I like how they have portrayed Bucky to really be struggling with PTSD and to be struggling with how to work through that, going to get help, but also doing what he has to do to survive. So I really hope that that doesn't have a resurgence of him being a bad guy. But that's just me. Next question.
Well, our next question is, who's the real villain here? Okay, because they have given us a number of people. They've given us Zemo. He's tried Bucky's code words. He shot the doctor. Okay.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he shot the doctor when they didn't want him to. We've got the power broker. Power broker is obviously there somewhere. I mean, and that's one of those, who is the power broker? In the comics, he's got by the name of Curtis Jackson, part of Red Skull's Ultimate, which I wonder if that's the next big uber villain we're bringing up, is Red Skull. But no, I would love on that to see someone from the past come in and make some kind of a huge, a big cameo from, hey, remember me? I'm back. And then Sharon's the last 20 seconds that Sharon was on screen this time made you think a little bit, because it's, A, how did that gal know she was there? And B, that we have a problem now. Actually, two. Who are the problems? I know. To me, the one that nobody's talking about, Batrock's still out there somewhere.
Can you refresh my memory of who that is?
He was the first guy from the helicopter.
From the guy from the helicopter that was a bad guy from way back.
Okay, thank you.
He's still out there somewhere. So I don't think we've seen the last of him. Kate, what are you thinking?
All right.
Who's your bad guy?
So I can't claim this. I have had a couple discussions with people. And so this was actually someone else's prediction. And Derek, you kind of just stole it from me, and that's fine. I think if Sharon isn't working for the power broker, that she is the power broker. I think she's a bad guy. And you know what? I thought, if you remember either last week or the week before, that Carly was a good guy. until she blew up the building with innocent people in it. That
I can see that.
At least I'm assuming they were innocent people. I guess that was an assumption on my part.
From what I saw, they were the guards of the building of the supplies they stole.
Okay.
So
I just
I don't know. I get it. Yeah.
Like that, because I was convinced that she was going to be this hero in the end, but then that happened and I was like, yo, you can't blow up innocent people though. So
but that's the only language they understand, whoever they is.
Who is that was going to be my next question, is who is they? I also don't think that Zemo, because he had so many chances. Yes, he said Bucky's trigger words, but he had so many chances to turn on them. I don't think Zemo is going to be a bad guy.
But what does he really?
Bad guy.
But what does he want?
I don't know. I don't know, Brian. Well, I'm throwing it over to you.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna there is a theme brewing in throughout the show of people doing things for the right reasons, but through the wrong means. So I think Zemo has hitched his wagon to Cap and Sam because he wants to follow them on the journey so he can keep that serum out of play, right? That's his end goal, no matter how he gets it done. And I think once he's done with that, he's fully going to go back to being some sort of full-on villain, or he's going to say, I'm done, right? Like I can just go back and be in peace, right? I think the same thing with Kroger Cap. I think the same thing to some extent with like Sam and Bucky, because Bucky's got his list that he's working through, right? So everyone seems to have their own agenda, and they're all trying to get through their agenda regardless of how they accomplish it. I think at the end of the day, the bad guy, clearly I think it's going to be Hydra related. I think that what we're going to find out is that Carly, like that this global defense initiative or the global repatriation
is that Hydra?
I think it's going to be infused with Hydra, and I think that we're going to find out that Carly was actually doing the right thing for the wrong reasons at some level, right? And so, so I think they're going to be the bad guy. I agree. I don't know where Sharon heads. I actually think that's a red herring. I think she's still working for Shield, or she's still working for.
But Shield was with Hydra.
Yeah,
Shield was with Hydra.
Yeah, but
Sword.
Sword, yeah. So we have Sword now. Like I think she's going to be an agent in some way, right? So I don't know that she's going to be bad. I feel like she was a red herring, but we don't know who the power broker is. So yeah,
right.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the difference and a reason why I like this show and WandaVision so much is because of how they're portraying the villains differently. In WandaVision, we had met all of the characters and had essentially met the villain, but we didn't know she was the villain. Here, we have a villain, we just haven't met them yet. I don't think any character that we've seen is the villain of the show. Are there people that have bad intentions and their own ulterior motives? Sure. But ultimately, I think all of them are up to the power broker, who obviously is running this whole vaccines that probably have some trace of super soldier serum in them, which is why I think that's maybe what Kroger Cap got. I think that's what Carly and them, they were taking all of them because they also have this little amount of soldier serum inside of them as well. And I think in terms of Zemo, to talk about what you said, Kate, I think the reason that he is, he's had so many chances, you're right, to shoot the other two, to run off on his own. When Sharon is sniping from the building and they like split up at one point and then finally came back in the end, my first thought was, where did Zemo go? Like, this is where he got out. Like he's gone, but then he showed up again, because I think that he realizes he has a goal. He knows that this is all Hydra related. He wants to get back in with Hydra. He wants to work with them. He's done that before. And he realizes that he needs Bucky and Sam to get him to where he needs to be. I think that that's why he's working with them. He's not dumb to go off on his own and do it without the help of these super soldiers, but he realizes that, to get to where I want to be, which probably is whoever the power broker is, he really needs their help. And then to talk about Carly, I think what Brian said, that she thinks that she's doing the right thing and just has the wrong idea of doing it. Her methods are not correct, but there's a reason of why she's doing it, and that is maybe to protect other people from this. She doesn't want things to happen to her that happen to other people, that happen to maybe her relative that we saw die. There's so many questions there because that story really wasn't finished. So I think the ultimate villain is going to be the power broker, and we probably won't see him until like the end, lead into the next movie, that sort of thing. But there are a couple of little mini ones here and there. So
we may not see him until the post-credit scene at the very end of the last
literally.
episode.
I just have to ask, how many times do Sam and Bucky have to be burned by Zemo's character? Because it's like he shoots the doctor, and they're like, "Oh, okay, come on, get in the car, it's okay." Or, I mean, like, like sooner or later,
Yeah.
they're gonna stop.
I think it's one of those. They know they need each other, but they don't like it.
No, both of them, both groups need each other, but they don't want to.
Glenn says he's hearing a lot about Sharon as power broker. Would agree. Why did she lead our trio to the goose that lays the golden eggs? No more super soldier serum for her. I mean, I had two problems with her being a power broker. One, why would she lead them to the doctor? And two, if she's truly this all-powerful, all-knowing person in this city, why couldn't she have had people protecting her outside the shipping containers? She would not have been by herself if she was truly the power broker.
Yeah, I think the implication was that those people were sent by the power broker. That's my problem. Yeah, I was sort of
Were they sent by the power broker, or were they just bounty hunters? Because there was a 1 billion whatever
right
on their heads. So
interesting.
Glenn also says Carly was Infus Nest. Thought she was bad all movie long. Then it turns out to be a hero. So, I mean, if she's being typecast, that's a possibility.
I think she's kind of like the epitome of an anti-hero. She's the one that's like, you see her doing all these things that are not what you're supposed to do, and you want the best for her because she has the right intentions. But she's
kind of like Wanda. Is she this show's Wanda?
I don't know.
No.
She's
Because
the
Wanda was
of Wanda.
but Wanda was doing all these things for what she thought was the right reasons, but they were not the right thing to do.
I hear you on that aspect, but equating her to the level of Wanda, I don't think is
okay.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I tend to. I hear both sides, but I think I tend to lean more with Rebecca on this, where Wanda was coming from a place of intense grief, and that is what created the bubble, as opposed to crush the patriarchy.
Yeah.
So.
I like Glenn. Yeah, how did none of the bounty hunters know what the power broker looks like? I mean, plus, wasn't one of the texts in one of the early ones, it was him. A power broker was the guy. So, I don't know.
Ask that question one more time. Say that one more time.
I thought one of the texts in either episode 1 or episode 2, like, he's coming for us, or something like that, talking about the power broker. So, now, Willie says Nick Fury is still alive. I mean, and the end of WandaVision kind of told us that. Okay. Sharon worked from him from the start. Her last scene was a classic Marvel move. You get to think she's in the villain, then reveal much more of a surprise. I can see that. I can see her being down there working for Nick Fury, but then why wouldn't she go to Nick Fury for the pardon? Why would she have to do it through Sam?
Because he's on the moon.
With Cap? Okay.
Yeah.
So, Sharon's just a secondary character to move the plot forward. I can see that, Ryan.
I agree. I agree completely. Yeah.
I think unless they're going to try and... I don't even know where I was going with that.
Because everyone said... Sorry. I was just going to say, everyone said right at the end, like, oh, she said we have problems. Actually, multiple, I'll tell you in the car. And that automatically makes you think, oh, she's a power broker because that guy is dead and they got away and all of this stuff. But we don't know what her problems are. She could, yes, be working for the power broker, but now what if her problem is Zemo's escaped? Zemo's out of prison. I didn't know that he would be here. What if he's working with Avengers, and that's a huge problem there too. So I don't think that it's necessarily, like, I don't think that she probably has a problem. I just don't know if it's necessarily what they wanted you to think it was.
I can see that. Now, something we haven't talked about yet. What's with the Wakanda visit in the last 20 seconds?
That made the entire episode for me.
Now, okay, Bucky said he was expecting them. Here's a theory. The White Wolf is a bounty hunter from Wakanda going after Zemo.
Zemo's the one who killed T'Chaka.
Yes.
Yeah,
They're not going to forgive him for that.
I was gonna say I think it's less about the White Wolf being a bounty hunter for Wakanda. I think he just knew they're not gonna let that. He said that actually at one of the episodes, like they're not gonna let that drop. Like they're gonna come after him once they realize he's out. And so now she's here and she's like, where is he? Because I need to kill him.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yep.
yeah. What I want to know is if how far they're gonna take that plot line, because kind of want a new Black Panther, and I would love for it to be either his sister or the
has to be his sister.
Well, or the woman he was going to marry. The woman he was going to marry.
Oh, yeah.
She
I didn't
was
think
so
about that.
strong. Like I think one of those two though need to be the new Black Panther. That's
And see, I don't think they'll have a new Black Panther. I think they will have another character from Wakanda. But some of the stuff I'm seeing is basically no, there will not be another Black Panther.
Well, and the movie sets that up, right? We don't have to go rabbit hole down this too far. The movie sets that up because they don't have any more of the, I forget what the flowers are named, right? But remember the character, the bad guy in Black Panther burned them all, right? So, and they gave the last one to the last Black Panther. So
but they can get super serum.
That's true.
Okay, let me just ask this question, because Rebecca, I know you want to throw us to the next topic, but let me just ask this question really quick. Is the only reason that we aren't going to have a new Black Panther because Chadwick passed away?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I was, because okay.
I think the respect for that character.
They have said he is the only one who will ever be Black Panther in
he was wonderful.
This iteration of the MCU. Okay?
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
Sam says they'll find more flowers in a cave. That would be very
Marvel.
Comic
It'd be
book
very Marvel.
It would be very comic booky. That'd be, oh no, we wrote ourselves into a hole. Oh look, there's some in a cave.
Right. You have to think that when they filmed Black Panther and they burned all of the flowers, Chadwick hadn't passed away yet, correct?
Correct.
So in Marvel's minds, of course they're gonna, oh look, under this rock there's a magic button, let's hit this button. Oh look, there's angels singing, and when they sing, flowers appear.
They can do a time heist. They can just go back inside and grab one and bring it forward. So there's your tie-in with Loki and all the different timelines.
Oh, and we do have the Doctor Strange movie coming.
Yes, we do.
So all right.
I think we did the Marvel thing, and I've been really excited to talk about Mighty Ducks, because I think that it's more than I was expecting. But Brian, I'm really eager to hear about, is it scoring with you?
So I like Mighty Ducks. I don't like it anywhere near as much as I like the Marvel stuff. So now I'm going to be in the minority, probably a little bit. I like it. I still struggle with Gordon Bombay's character, because he feels like this, and I said, I was sniping at you guys on Facebook last week. So now I'm here and I can just represent my opinion, which is, I just don't think they're like it's what happened to his wife? What happened to the kid? Like, did they just never get married? Like, did hockey wreck his relationship? Like, we don't know enough, except that it clearly looks like Gordon Bombay is going to have some romantic relationship with, and I'm forgetting the mother's name, but the mom coach. And so I struggle with his character specifically, because it feels like it's not really written well for him. And I feel like they either should have just kept him out of it entirely, or if they're going to put him in it, like, I feel like he should be coaching the hockey team. Right. So, so that's but let's skate the puck over to Kate.
Oh, over to me.
This time. Cool.
Yeah, we can go to me. Listen, I love this show, and I don't know if it's because because the last year has been really heavy and been hard, that I needed, like, my soul needed a relatively lighthearted underdog story. I was sad when this episode ended that I couldn't get to the next one, because it's just, is it predictable? You betcha. Is are they probably maybe gonna lose and then they're gonna come back and win? You betcha. But does it make my soul smile? Absolutely. And Disney is very good at that. And oh no, is it Nick, Rebecca?
Yeah.
So for those of you who are really bad with names, like myself, Nick is the young gentleman who he was the podcast host, and then he was the first one who got recruited for the team, and just his one-liners and his attitude, like, everyone should have a Nick in their life. Everyone should have a Nick. And so I know, is it cinematic masterpiece? No, but does it make my heart and my soul smile? Absolutely. I love it. I think it's great.
And by the way, they can follow the Cobra Kai model, and the team can lose at the end of the season, and then they'll have a season 2 where now they got to get better, right? Or something like that can happen. So,
and I will say, Brian, I do agree with you. The Gordon Bombay plotline feels forced. It feels forced. It feels a bit inauthentic. Emilio Estevez is not the reason I'm watching the show. The kids, and I know we kind of gave Lauren Graham a hard time the last couple episodes. I think she is brilliant in this role. I think she was cast perfectly because that witty, very, very Gilmore Girls banter is perfect for this this role. But yeah, Emilio Estevez is my least favorite part of the show. I love it, but he is not. It's yeah. Anyway, Brian, up to you. Or I mean, Derek, up to you.
Really?
Sorry.
Well, while I may not necessarily love it as much as my sister Kate, it is working for me. As you said, is it predictable? Yes. Did I have bad flashbacks of really bad teacher in services when I watched the first practice? Absolutely. But is it the best new thing I watched this week? Yes. I will definitely watch this before I will watch the Marvel ones going forward. And I wish I could do that. I did like, there were some cute little Easter eggs. The Minnesota sweatshirt made another appearance. And that's me wondering, okay, is that going to be a cue for something getting ready to happen? Because the boy wore it and then something happened. The mom wore it, and then something happened. So that's a thought. I was glad to see that the mom at the end figured out, okay, we have to learn actual hockey now.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I hope they don't do is they have a chance to win their last game and make the playoffs, and she has to either cancel practice or be fired because she's having to leave early. Because I don't think we've heard the last of that.
Yeah,
I think that's a setup for later on, especially if they're going to be playing the Ducks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the show has continually pulled that thread of the helicopter parent kind of thing, like the scene of the preseason participation trophy giveaway.
Yeah.
I just thought I was like, oh my god, this is an amazing moment.
I have heard some rumors as far as why Bombay is in the situation he is, and I think it's going to come out in episode 3. So I'm not necessarily going to say anything. Let's just say that from what I've heard, there's a reason that he's not coaching anymore. I haven't heard reasons why he's not still with Charlie's mom, but there's reasons that he's living in the Ice Palace and hating hockey. I thought it was real interesting, the throwback to the original movie of him going out and the skating in the circles and doing all that. That was a total throwback to that. I think, yes, eventually he's going to step in and help the kids because, let's face it, it's Disney.
Of course.
So I also know they contacted almost all of the old original Mighty Ducks to see if they wanted to participate in this. I think there's going to be more of the originals showing up. I don't think the only one I've heard they didn't talk to is Goldberg, but I think Averman and all those have been talked to and have all said, yeah, we're in if you want us. So now to the baby among us, my little sister, Rebecca, what did you think?
I think this episode was much better than the first. And that because of the comedy and between Nick and Nick alone, I really am intrigued in watching it just because we were cracking up every 5 minutes that he had said something. We were like, oh my goodness. They just are playing it so well. They're playing that character so well. I mean, you can talk about when they're in that first huddle at practice, and he said, on the inside, I'm Logan. And Logan's like this guy that's got like this beautiful hair, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, where do you think that is? So funny.
Yeah. And Willie agrees with you that he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
He makes a championship winning shot against the Ducks. I hope that doesn't happen. But anyway, sorry to interrupt, Rebecca.
No, that's okay.
Rebecca, you nailed it, sister. Keep going.
That one, and then there was another one too. When he gets the award at the table and he like stands up and he's like, I don't really know what to say. I've never done this before. It's like it's just so genuine, like comedy. It just makes it so much easier to watch. I am really tired of Gordon Bombay's character as a person, not even like his storyline, but I'm tired of him just being like a jerk and like being ugly and mean. And it's not like they, that he loves hockey, that he loves kids, that he's done this whole rep before. So I don't really care to even get into the backstory of him. And I really just want to watch the kids like interact with each other, because I also love the girl, the popular girl that's in there. And she's like, that jacket's from 2017. I feel very 2016 on you. And and she, the vest. And then she's like, oh, and then she gets a new vest, the mom, right? And she's like,
do you like it? And she goes, okay.
And it's so funny. I thought that the comedy in it alone is enough to make me like actually want to look forward to watching it. Okay. But not better than Falcon or Winter Soldier by any means, but I think that it's better. It's getting there.
There is something classic about it that there is a reason that movies and show, and I want to say movies, like this did well in the 90s. That that kid humor, think The Sandlot, think Mighty Ducks, think whatever, The Big Green or whatever the soccer movie was. Think even like It Takes Two, Mary-Kate and Ashley. I know that, boys, that might be a little bit, it's fine, everything's fine. That's me? Okay, that's cool. But that humor that can only be delivered by kids is showing up so much in this show, and that is what gives my soul life. So.
Yeah.
I just wonder how well it's actually doing. So I'll just throw this out. The biggest disappointment I had after watching the show was I headed over to Shop Disney to see if I could get myself a Don't Bother's hockey jersey.
And you can't buy those jerseys yet.
There's nothing, which makes me wonder, is this show
we should call someone
kind of audience pulling the kind of audience that they want. So
that is a missed opportunity, because I would have I would have a Don't Bother's jersey 100%. That's a missed opportunity on Disney's part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And did you guys watch the preview of the next episode that was at the end of the credits? Basically it centers around he's still trying to recruit the girl from
the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so
interesting.
That's going to be coming too. So
interesting. Rebecca, you want to take us home?
I guess if that's the end, then I guess we're going to talk about next week. Derek, what do we got?
Next week, we've got Falcon and Winter Soldier, episode 4, because we're going to see that out. And then we're going to do something different next week, and this is where we need your help. We're going to introduce a segment we're calling Diamonds in the Rough. That is, what have you been watching that's relatively new that everyone else should watch that's not Falcon and Winter Soldier or Mighty Ducks or WandaVision or anything like that? Let us know. Please leave it in the comments. We will then select one of them, and we'll send out a message on Friday through our different social media channels, and that will be the second thing we watch besides Falcon and Winter Soldier next week. So give us the suggestions of what have you watched that everyone else should watch.
Derek, can they say something even if it isn't relatively new? Like just like an example, I watched the Newsies musical a couple nights ago. Like how new is relatively new?
To me, that would be more of a vault show. To me, which we are going to be getting into. We will be going way back into some of the old classic Disney stuff, but that's not what the Diamonds in the Rough are going to be.
Got it.
Diamonds in the Rough, to me, think it has come out since Disney Plus has started.
Okay. Cool.
Can
So
it be from the National Geographic side of that?
absolutely, National Geographic side, Marvel, anything that is, if it's on Disney Plus, it's fair game. If there's an episode of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse that you think changed your life, sure, we'll give it a shot. So that's what we got coming up next week. I do want to say, yeah, and again, guys, if you have suggestions on other stuff we should watch, email info@plusplatoon.com. And please like, subscribe, share. We're on facebook.com/plusplatoon, Twitter and Instagram. We are Plus Platoon. And that's what we've got coming up. So, yes,
Jared,
Kate.
could you just
Yes.
highlight what Ed said there about don't
Yeah.
bother? Can you just highlight that for a second?
The first one.
Yeah, sure.
Just pick that up
Don't-
because, like,
sounds like okay, Kate's going to be leaving us and it can't join the show anymore. So, no. Don't
If
bother
he's
sounds
gone,
like a
I'm gone.
temporary name. And okay, Brian, it's you, me, and Sam. So, no,
so we are not going to talk about Mighty Ducks next week.
that's not the plan. Now, we may
Okay.
mention it if something big and huge happens, but that's not going to be our main thing.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah, Dan says Duck Show is predictable. Already predict what's going to happen. He's going to step in, take over, coach them to might be a moral victory over the Ducks, but hooked on the kids' characters.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely something to say.
Ryan.
Yeah. Ed said he's sorry. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not sorry, Ed. But so with that, guys, thanks everyone. And Rebecca, I think we're ready to say goodnight.
Alrighty, guys. It was so much fun. I'm really excited to get to talk about this stuff next week. So thank you so much for joining us. Remember, like, share, comment, subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all over. We will look forward to seeing you guys next week and talking with you. So everyone